So let us start with shear force and bending moment diagram of cantilevers. So in the case of cantilever, you very well know that a cantilever beam is a beam which is rigidly supported on one end and the other end is free. So this is a cantilever beam, it is supported on one end and the other end is free. So what you need to do is you need to solve this, draw the shear force and bending moment diagram of this cantilever. So to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram of this cantilever, what you need to keep in mind is there are two types of problem that may be asked in context to shear force and bending moment diagram of cantilevers. One is you are not supposed or you are not asked to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. You are only asked to determine the reaction at supports. So that will be a different type of problem. And if you are asked to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram, obviously it includes the determination of reaction at supports as well as drawing the shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay, so to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram, the first step always includes the determination of reaction at support. So for this problem, we need to draw the, we'll find out the reaction at supports. But before finding out the reaction at supports, let me tell you that in case of cantilever beams, please remember that you have to always start from the free end. You need to always start from the free end. You always start from free end. So this is your free end and you need to start from here. So before we start drawing the shear force and bending moment diagram of this beam, let us find out the reactions. So if you show the reactions, this is the vertical reaction, this is the horizontal reaction, and let us say that you have a anti-clockwise moment of M acting here. This is RD and this is RD dash. So you can very well say that RD dash is equal to 0. If you want to say RD is equal to sum of all upward acting forces is equal to sum of all downward acting forces. So this is 20 into 4 plus 40 plus 30. So this is 80, 120, 150. Now to find out this moment, let us take moment about point D. So if you take moment about point D and equate it to 0. So you have 20 into 4 into 8. From D it is 2 plus 4, 6 and then another 2, 8 plus. This is in anti-clockwise direction. So this is minus. This will also be minus. Minus 40 into 6 minus 30 into 2 and this is clockwise moment. So this is plus M is equal to 0. This is a moment. So it is irrespective of any distance. So this is straight away added. So if you add this, you get M is equal to, this is 80 into 8 is 640. So you have 640, this is 240 plus 60. So this is 300 and 640 is 940. So this is the reaction that you have found out at support. So these types of problems, obviously we have already done in reactions and supports, reaction in beams. So now let us draw the shear force diagram. This was just a recap. I just wanted to revise that how to find out reaction in cantilever beam. So it is mandatory that you have to start from the free end. So if you start from the free end, it is from left to right. The sign conventions remain as usual. So the first point is A. So SF at A is 0. The second point will be SF just before B. Why just before B? Because at B you have two different loads of different nature acting at the same point. So this is SF just before B will be 20 into 4. This is 80. So this is minus 80 because this is downward acting force. SF at B, you have minus 80, minus 40. This is minus 120. Now SF at C, You have minus 120 till here, then another minus 30, you have minus 150. And SF at D, you have minus 150 till here, you add another 150 here, because RD is 150, you get equal to 0. So now let us plot the points. So SF at A is 0, SF just before B is minus 80, SF at B is minus 120, SF at C is 150, SF at D is 0. So now come to the variation from A to B. So the variation from A to B will be, it is a uniformly distributed load from A to just before B. It is a uniformly distributed load. So for a uniformly distributed load, what do you have in the shear force diagram? A straight line. This is going downwards because it is having a negative slope. From just before B to B, it goes straight. From B to just before C, the value remains constant because there is no force in between. So it will remain constant, and as soon as it reaches C, it drops down to 150. Similarly, from C to just before D, again the value remains constant, and as it comes to D, the value goes back to 0. So plot these values. This is 0, this is 80, this is 120, this is 150, and this is 0. So you need not write minus here in the diagram because it is self-explanatory that all values lying below the reference line are considered to be negative. You have already written minus here. You just need to write down the units. So units have not been mentioned. So this is your shear force diagram. So let us now go to the bending moment diagram. Let us remember the values. This is 150 and this is 940. So 150 and 940 are the reactions. So going back to the bending moment value. So let us show the reactions here. This is 150 and you have 940 here. Now again, it is mandatory that you have to start from the free end. So the first point is A. So BM at A, to start from BM at A is 0. In the case of two loads of different nature acting at the same point, in bending moment you need not consider anything. So we will not find out BM just before B because BM just before B and BM at B will give you the same result. So BM at B is minus 20 into 4 into 2. So this is 80, 80 into 2 is minus 160. So the next point is BM at C. So the BM at C is minus 20 into 4 into 6. From here it is 4 meters here and then another 2 meters. So this is 6 minus 40 into 4. So this is 80, 80 into 6 is minus 480 minus 160. So this is minus 640. So the next point is BM at D. So if you find out now at D what happens that uh, you have at point D you have moment of two different types. One is a constant moment and one is the moment due to increase in distance. So whenever you have moment of two different types acting at the same point, we calculate moment just before. So at the last point, so you can make it a habit that in all cantilever beams, just at the support, you have to always calculate bending moment just before that specific location. So BM just before D is how much? It is minus 20 into 4 into this is 6 plus 2 8 minus 40 into 6 minus 30 into 2. So if you solve this, you get minus 940. And BM at D, this minus 940 gets added to this clockwise moment of 940 and gives you a value 0. So you can make the understanding is at point D you have moment of two different nature. One is moment due to increase in distances for these forces and one is the constant moment. So when you have moment of two different types acting at the same point, what we do is we take their effect individually. So we have written Bm just before D. You can also understand it like this, that in case of cantilever beams at the end, you always need to calculate bending moment just before and at. So this is a mandatory practice that you have to follow. So at A, this is 0. At B, this is 160. This is 640. This is 940. And then this is 0. So let us plot the variation. From A to B, it is a parabola because it is due to a uniformly distributed load. So it is a parabola. From B to C, again, it is the effect of straight lines. So it will become a straight line. From here to here, again a straight line. And when it comes here, this diagram will close itself. So this is a curve. This is a straight line. And this portion is also a straight line. You can put down the values. This is 0. This is minus 160. This is minus 640. Minus you need not write, or you may also write. Doesn't make any difference. So this is the bending moment diagram. You also can remember it as at just before support, bending moment is maximum in case of cantilevers. In case of cantilever beam, you can remember this as at just before condition. This is your bending moment maximum. This is fixed and it will always occur at a location just before the support. So this is about your bending shear force and bending moment diagram of cantilevers. Now starting with the next problem, in this problem you can see that the sign conventions have been reversed. Will get reversed because you need to solve the problem starting from right to left. Don't reverse the beam. In some books, what they have done is the beam has been given like this and they have reversed it so that it can be solved from left to right. Don't reverse the beam. The beam has to be solved as it is given in the problem. Okay, that is a wrong practice. You will get a mirror image of the actual shear force diagram just in case you try to reverse the beam. Okay, there is no change in the bending moment diagram observed if you reverse the beam, but it is something which is wrong in practice. So if you are going from right to left, obviously the sign conventions get reversed. So let us denote the reactions. So if you see the reactions, these are the constant moment and this is the reaction which is offered by the support. I am neglecting the horizontal reaction right from the start itself. So if you look at RD, the reaction, so RD is equal to how much? 40 plus 30, this is equal to 70. There is no other load, so this is 70. Now coming to the moment, so if you take moment about point D and equate it to 0, so you have M is equal to 40 into 2 plus, this is a constant moment of 100 Newton meter, which is acting in the same direction of this 40. So this is 100 plus 30 into 10. So this comes out to be 300, 400, 480. So this is 480. So coming to the shear force diagram. So let us draw the shear force diagram for it. So SF at A is Downward acting positive now. So it is plus 30. SF at B, this remains 30 because this is a moment and these are force equations. Next is SF at C. You have 30 plus 40, this is 70. And SF at D, you have 70 minus 70. Upward acting forces are negative when you are moving from right to left. So this is 0. So if you draw the shear force diagram, this is SF at A is 30. So this is 30. SF at B remains at 30. SF at C is 70. And this is 0. So the variation SF just before A is 0. So it will go like this. It remains constant because there is no force involved. From B to C also it remains constant because there is no force involved. It goes up due to the interaction of this force. Again it remains constant because there is no force involved, and the figure closes down. So this is your shear force diagram. Let us mention the values. This is 30, this is 30, this is 70, and this is 0. Now coming to the bending moment diagram. So BM, first point is BM at A. You have to move from the free end. This is 0. Now the next one will be BM just before B, because at B you have moment of two different types. One is due to increase in distance, because while coming from right to left, you have already covered a distance of 4 meters. So due to change in distance, there will be some change in moment, and then you have this constant moment. So BM just before B. So BM just before B is 30 into 4. This is clockwise in nature, and clockwise moments are negative when you move from right to left. So this is minus 120. Again, BM at B, this is minus 120, and this is also a clockwise moment. This is another 100. So this is minus 220. Now BM at C. So BM at C is uh, 30 into 8, because 30 is at a distance of 8 meters. This is minus, this is clockwise, and then you have this minus 100 remains as usual. So this is 240 and this is minus 340. Okay. Next will be BM just before D. BM just before D is minus 40 into 2 minus 100 minus 30 into 10. So this comes out to be minus 80 minus 100. This is minus 300. So this is minus 480. And BM at D is minus 480 plus 480. This is 0. This plus 480 is due to this anti-clockwise moment of 480 being acted at point D. So now let us plot the point. This is 0. BM just before B is minus 120. So this is minus 120. Again you have minus 220 here at the same point. Then you have minus 340 here. Then you have minus 480 here. And then you have 0 here. So coming to the variation, all these from A to just before B, you will be having a straight line variation, because this is due to point load only. There will be a sudden dip in increase in bending moment due to this constant moment. Again, this will be a straight line. From here to here, again it is a straight line, and from here to here, again it is a straight line. So this is the bending moment diagram. If you write down the values, this is 120, this is 220, this is 340, and this is 480. If you write down the values here, you have this complete shear force and bending moment diagram. So the thing that you have to remember is, you do not reverse the beam, start from the free end only, and maximum bending moment will occur at the support only. The bending moment will be maximum at a location just before the support. So this is how you draw the shear force and bending moment diagram of cantilevers. So now let us see the relationship between shear force and bending moment. So to see the relationship between shear force and bending moment, why do we actually need it? So इसका सही एप्लीकेशन आपको समझ में आएगा जब आप सेकेंड ईयर में डिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ बीम्स या फिर कॉलम स्टार्ट से ये सब पढ़ेंगे. अभी ये आपके लिए बहुत योगदान वाला चीज़ नहीं है पहली. और दूसरा कि मैंने आपको एक स्टेटमेंट दिया था, राइट एट द फर्स्ट क्लास ऑफ shear force and bending moment diagram, that wherever the shear force diagram changes sign, bending moment is maximum. So we need to prove this statement. तो स्टार्टिंग में आपको समझ में नहीं आता, इस वजह से वी डिलेड द एंटायर प्रोसेस. सो लेट अस टेक अ स्मॉल, let us assume a small section of a beam. Let us assume a small section of a beam. So the length of this beam is dx. Let us say that you have a uniformly distributed load of W Newton per meter acting over its entire length. Let us say that the shear force, let us say that the shear force at this point is F. And let us say that you have a constant moment of M acting at this location. The moment at this point is M. Now, for equilibrium of this structure, you have F plus dF shear force acting on this end. Why F plus dF? Because due to the small change in distance, there must have been a increase or decrease in the shear force that is represented by dF. And this F and F, they will cancel out each other because the sum of all forces has to be equal to 0 for equilibrium. If you have a moment of F acting at one end of the beam, to balance it, you have a moment of M plus dm acting at the other end of the beam. This dm has risen out of the fact that you have covered a small distance dx. So after covering a small distance dx, due to change in distance, you will have a change in moment. So this m and m will cancel themselves, and you have a net resultant of m which has been present due to this change in distance. Okay, so let us uh, find out. This is the origin O, and let this be point A. So let us find out SF at A. So we are assuming that we are moving from left to right. So when you are moving from left to right, so SF at A will be, here this is an upward acting force, so this is positive. Now this is UDL of magnitude W into dx acting over this length. This is minus W into dx because this is a downward acting force. And here you have a downward acting force of F plus df acting here. So this is minus F plus df. As this system is in equilibrium, has to be equal to 0. As the entire system is in equilibrium, this has to be 0 because the beam finishes here. There is no other length associated with the beam. So this has to be equal to 0, or you can say that the system is in equilibrium, so this is equal to 0. So you have F minus W dx. We have F minus W dx minus F minus df is equal to 0. So this F and F, they cancel out each other. So you have df is equal to minus dx. So this can be written as df by dx is equal to minus w. So this is the first relationship that is arising out of shear force. So this relationship is stated as rate of change of rate of change of shear force dF by dx is rate of change of shear force is equal to the load applied. The rate of change of shear force is equal to the load applied. Now similarly, let us find out Bm at A. So if you find out Bm at A, so F into dx, this is F into dx. The nature is clockwise. The nature is clockwise, so clockwise moments are positive. So this is F into dx is positive. You have a clockwise moment here, so this is plus m. Now you have an anti-clockwise moment arising out of this uniformly distributed load. So this is given as minus w into dx by 2. This UDL, if taken moment about A, will give you a value w into dx by 2. Now this f plus df is acting at this point, so this will not produce any moment. And you have an anti-clockwise moment of minus m plus dm also acting here. So as the entire system is in equilibrium, or you can say that the entire length of the beam has been covered. So there is no beam existing afterwards. So this is equal to 0. Now dx is a small quantity. So dx into dx by 2, as dx tends to, or you can, dx tends to 0. So dx square by 2 is taken as to be equal to 0. So this equation reduces to f dx plus m minus dm is equal to 0. So this m and m cancel out each other. So this can be written as dm by dx is equal to force. Now this F is shear force. This statement is rate of change of bending moment is equal to the shear force. The statement says that the rate of change of bending moment is equal to shear force. Now dm by dx means the first differential of the moment equation. So the first differential of moment equation, if it is equal to 0, so wherever the shear force diagram changes sign, so where SFD changes sign, F is equal to 0. If that means if dm by dx is equal to 0, it indicates either maxima or minima. It indicates either maxima or minima. So minima, it cannot be done because minima is reserved for supports. Wherever you have supports, there the bending moment, the bending moment will have to be 0. So the minima concept is reserved for supports. So this clearly indicates that if shear force diagram changes sign somewhere between the beam means not at supports. So if the shear force diagram changes sign at not at supports, it will indicate a situation of maxima only, because minima is reserved for the supports. So this is the reason why wherever shear force diagram changes sign, you have a situation of maximum bending moment. So now let us conclude it. If you conclude it, you can say that if you have a point load, then in the shear force diagram, either the value goes up or goes down. In the bending moment diagram, you will have a straight line. either going up or going down. If you have a uniformly distributed load, in the shear force diagram, you have an inclined line either going up or going down. And in the bending moment diagram, you have a parabola. You need to remember that in the case of uniformly distributed load, you need to search out for just before values in the case of shear force diagram. Just before values in the case of shear force diagram. In the case of uniformly varying load, UVL, you will have a parabola increasing, always increasing in the case of shear force diagram. In the bending moment diagram, you will have a cubic curve. ठीक है? Again, you have to look out for just before values in shear force diagram, and you have to always start from the smaller end side. The drawing of the beam or drawing of the shear force and bending moment diagram has to be such that you have to start from this end only. Okay, when you have a constant movement in the shear force diagram, there is absolutely no change. It goes horizontal. In the bending moment diagram, either it goes up or goes down depending upon clockwise or anti-clockwise movement. And just before concept or just before values have to be calculated in the case of bending moment diagram if you have a constant moment. Okay, there are very few small things that you also can remember. One is type of beam, and the next one is the remarks. So if you have a simply supported beam, where SFD is 0, or where SFD changes sign, bending moment is maximum. Bending moment values are mostly positive. बेंडिंग मोमेंट वैल्यूज आर मोस्टली पॉजिटिव. सिर्फ अगर कांस्टेंट मोमेंट आएगा उसी केस में बेंडिंग मोमेंट कहीं भी नेगेटिव हो सकता है, वरना बेंडिंग मोमेंट 100% पॉजिटिव ही रहेंगे. एंड फॉर ओवरहैंगिंग बीम, these conditions they will exist for all beams. Next is look out for point of contraflexure. Point of contraflexure will occur in a simply supported beam if and only if you have a constant moment. Otherwise, in all cases, point of contraflexure will always exist in case of overhanging beams. For a cantilever beam, always start from free end. And maximum bending moment occurs just before supports. So maximum bending moment will always occur at just before supports. And all BM values will be negative. So this is the summary sheet of all shear force and bending moment diagram.